Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? I hope you are having a great week. While we are waiting for some people to get on, I'm just going to, on my other monitor, just pull this up so I can monitor a couple of things at once while we're doing our teaching. So you might see me look up for a minute. There we go. So how's everybody doing today? This is very exciting. This is Faith Intensive Teaching number 28. So we are so excited to be able to be here today. Hi Sherry, how are you doing? How's everything going? Sure do miss you. So again, this is Faith Intensive Teaching number 28. Faith Intensive Teaching, we have used an acronym, FIT, F-I-T, and that is pretty appropriate for talking about faith because we have faith muscles, and so one of the things that we want to do is build our faith and help it to become stronger so that we actually use our faith muscles and they get stronger and stronger. So again, Faith Intensive Teaching number 28. This is part of a series, and so this is part 11. Amazing. And you can go back. All previous 10 parts are on our YouTube channel, and they're also posted on our social medias. So good that you're doing well, Sherry. And I see other people have joined us. Hi, Linda. How are you doing? Tell me where you're from. It's so exciting that you can be with us today, and I hope that you are blessed by this for sure. This is an interactive teaching, and so I will try my best to make sure I pay attention to the comments and questions and answer any questions that you have, or any comments. And if you don't want to post, of course you certainly don't have to, but you can always message us, and through our email or private message through our Facebook page, and we'll respond. We really strive to do that. So hi Anthony, how are you doing? Well, hope everything is going well for you, and so glad you're back in the country. You had an awesome trip. Thank you for sharing all your pictures with us. Okay, so as we start this faith intensive teaching, let me give you a few ways that you can connect with us. These are through Facebook, which we are on right now. So Based on Faith Facebook page. We have an Instagram account as well, which is official_Based on Faith. There's YouTube, which this will be posted to as well. That's under my name, Crystal Gail Hagerman Lowery. And you can look it up that way, or you can go to one of our previous social media posts, and you can click on that link as well, and it'll take you there. So we would actually encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way when we do post teachings and other videos on there, it will help it to be in front of more people, and so we can sort of be proactive with their algorithms. And then we have our website, which is basedonfaith.org, and our general email, which is info@basedonfaith.org. So, okay, so you might hear a dog. You might hear a dog breathing. We have been watching a cute dog. She comes to us a lot, and her people, one of them has some pretty intense medical issues, and they've got a lot going on, so she's staying with us, but they are trying to find a forever home for this dog. So she's very I think she knows there's a lot of transition going on, and so she doesn't like to be away from me. So I am letting her in the room with me while we have the teaching, so please bear with me as you might hear her you might hear her breathing. She's breathing pretty heavy. So, but she's really cute. And if you are interested in a dog, please let me know. We can, depending on where you live, probably make some sort of arrangement. So I know the owners are definitely looking for it. She's really cute. She's about a year old. She's sort of black and white. And if you go to my personal Facebook page, I did post last night a picture of her, so you can see what she looks like. She's real cute. Okay, well, this faith intensive teaching is a continuation of our study of Psalm 91. And so the last time we really started into verse 2 of Psalm 91. So I'm going to read that verse for you. Again, go back and watch previous ones in this series, and that will really help you get to the point where we are today. But, this can certainly be a standalone teaching as well. So Psalm 91, verse 2, in the King James Version says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him will I trust. Okay, so last time we really got about halfway through the verse. We broke down different elements. So go back again and watch that previous teaching. But what I want to do today is pick up with the part where it says, He is my refuge and my fortress. So He is. So let's look at that right now. So He is referring to God. So He is, and that verb is present tense. It's right now. So right now. He is. It's not past tense, He was. It's not future tense. It's right now. So right now, we're always living. That very interesting thing is that life is always now, right? We're always living in this moment. And so that is the active moment we live in. And so He is. And so isn't it interesting that, one of the names of God is I am. He says, I am that I am. That's another variation of it. He is. He is above time, but He is right now. He's always been. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He's everything in the middle, everything in between. He is. He is right now. What is He right now? My refuge and my fortress. So, my is a pronoun. So, sorry, we're doing diagramming sentences today. I used to love that in English, actually. Not love, but I used to really enjoy it. And so, anyway, my is a pronoun. And the very interesting thing is it's possessive. So, when we use the word my, it means that something belongs to me. So it's mine. I own it. I'm taking ownership of it. I'm taking possession of it. So He is my refuge and my fortress. So my is used for refuge and fortress. So He is my refuge. I'm not using it as this verse is saying, not using it as a general. He's all, He's their refuge and fortress. He can be a refuge and fortress. It's saying, personally, I am taking it for myself. He is my refuge and my fortress. Hey T, how are you doing? Love you so much. So glad you can be on. All right, so He is mine. He is my refuge and fortress. So let's look at some verses about that, about what refuge and fortress mean, and then we'll go into some other aspects of it because it's pretty interesting. Psalm 18:2. And these are, you can look at it in any version you like. This is just a particular version, the MEV version. Okay, it says, the Lord is my pillar and my fortress, and my deliverer, my God, my rock, in whom I take refuge. So there's refuge, my shield, and the horn of my salvation, my high tower. So one of the names of God, again, is my high tower. So here we see one of his names used in this. But he is the one in whom I take refuge. So in whom. So, this leads me to think that he takes me into himself and hides me. And there are so many verses in just Psalms alone where it talks about how he takes me into himself and he hides me. So my enemies cannot touch me, right? I was just reading in that today. And so Psalm 142:5, again, these are all MEV version. I cried unto you, O Lord, I said, you are my refuge and my portion in the land of the living. So there again, we see he is my refuge. It's possessive, and he is mine, and I'm taking that personally for myself. And he's my portion in the land of the living. So, and of course we know that Jesus is our life, right? He is the way, the truth, and the life, right? So he's our life. So, and we live in the land of the living. So we're living in him, and that personal relationship that we talked about last time. So we are entering into his presence as a refuge for ourselves. Psalm 16:5-6. And I've got a few more verses, but I do think it's really important that we go over these. So Psalm 16:5-6, the MEV version says, the Lord is the portion of my inheritance and of my cup. You support my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. I really like this verse. Yes, an inheritance is beautiful for me. And then in Psalm 144:2, again, all these are in Psalms, which is good. Psalms are so comforting. My goodness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield, and in whom I trust, who subdues nations under me. So again, there we see he is my fortress. And it also says my deliverer, and a few times it, in these verses talks about how he is our shield. So similar concept. And then the last verse for this portion is Psalm 27:13 in the MEV version. I believe I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. So he is, we talked about that. God is right now in this moment, he is my refuge and my fortress. He is that for me. He doesn't just do these things. He is, right? So it's more than a verb. It's a noun. That's who he is. He is my refuge and my fortress, right? He also does those as an action, as a verb, like he defends me, right? He takes me in, but this is saying he is that. So picture a fort. So here where I live in Charleston, South Carolina, we have a really famous fort. There's actually a number of them, some of not quite as famous, but Fort Sumter is right off the coast here. It's right, at the entrance to Charleston Harbor. And so it was where the first shots of the Civil War were fired. And so when you look at the fort or a fortress, similar concept, there are these thick walls. And one of the really interesting things is, even though, the Civil War happened, a very long time ago, there are still cannonballs that are lodged into the walls, of the fort. And so, the fort it doesn't have one wall, it doesn't have two walls, it is completely surrounded. So when you're in the fort, you have protection on all sides. And so God is that for us. So if we picture ourselves, in his presence, hiding in the secret place, which is verse 1, in the secret place of the Most High, that is an image to really meditate on, for us to go into him and be hidden in his presence. And he does hide us within himself so that we don't have to defend ourselves. He does that for us. He's our defender, right? And in a few verses, what we just looked at, it says he's our shield also. And he doesn't allow our enemy to touch us, right? So this is what he is. It's who he is. He is our refuge, and he is our fortress. He is this for me. So I want to run to my fortress, and I want to run to my refuge, right? I want to dwell in that place of safety. So this can be the place where we actually dwell and not just go and camp out here and there when we are, having problems in life. Our goal should be to live there permanently. Like, it's our residence. It's, in the law, we call it domicile. That's even like the permanent place of residence, right? We can have multiple residences where we go here half the time and here half the time, but this is our domicile. So, he provides strong walls, so he's our strong tower. And we just saw that in one of the verses. He's our strong tower. So we completely surround ourselves in him. And this is really referring back to our relationship with him. It's intimacy with him. And at the end of the last FIT session, we did talk about the importance of that. And so here we are back to the same concept. So he hides me in himself, and he protects me with his whole being. He is all powerful. He's almighty, right? Almighty, but it's almighty. So all might is who he is. He is the almighty. I don't have to fight. He defends me, right? And he's already won through Jesus. So we already have, we have the victory. I have the victory, and you do too. So I'm safely hidden in him in the secret place of the Most High when I dwell there, right? And so now let's look at the Hebrew word for refuge. Okay, this is, excuse my Hebrew, but it's makasa or mokseh. And so this means refuge or shelter. It's hope. It can mean hope. It can be a place of refuge, shelter, or trust. So that's really when we say he is my refuge. He's all of those things. He's not just, surrounding me with himself. He is doing that. But he's also my hope while I'm dwelling there. Now, fortress in Hebrew is the word matsud. Okay, and so this means castle. Now, this is really interesting. This is one of the things that when I was studying this, and you'll have to go back. You really will have to go back into some of the earlier teachings when we were talking about the fowler and the snare of the fowler. Go back and watch those, because this will be really profound, actually, when you study and you meditate on it. So fowler, go back and watch those. But fortress, one of the definitions is castle, of course, but it also means a net or prey, as in, you're preying on something that's weaker. So in my notes, I said, oh, this is like the fowler's snare in Psalm 91:3, except he is my fortress, right? So that's a positive thing for me, as opposed to the negative, which is the fowler's snare, right? So each one, it's there's a positive and there's a negative here. So, so instead of us being trapped, like a bird in the fowler's snare, we can dwell in the secret place of the Most High, and he can be our fortress, right? So we can live in either place. We can be in the fowler's snare, or we can be hiding and dwelling in safety in our fortress, God himself. So he is for me. He's not against me, and we know that. So John 10:10 is one of my favorite verses. And I always say this is the job description of Jesus and the job description of the enemy. So, the thief, or the enemy, Satan, comes to steal, kill, and destroy. That's his job description. That's his mission. That's his vision. That's what he aims to do. But Jesus comes so that you can have life and have it more abundantly. And so you see here where, a fowler's snare that falls well within the job description of the enemy, right? But the fortress, the shelter, the dwelling place, hiding in safety with him, God himself being our defender, that is the job description, right, of the one that we love and who loves us, right? So he is for me. He is not against me. And this is working in my favor. So there are verses in Psalms too that I really, really, I love, because it's the word of God, and it says, he chases me down. His grace and his mercy chase me down. And so he hides me in himself. He hunts me down, right? God himself hunts me down, not as a prey as the enemy does, but as his own, as his child, as the bride of Christ, right? He loves us and he chases us down so that we can dwell in him, not as the enemy chases us down and hunts us so that he can kill, steal, and destroy us. And so his love is never ending. It's everlasting love for me. I'm his bride, He is the bridegroom. He has a selfless love for me, and he gave all for me. He gave all for me, the ultimate love, right? So the difference between fortress and a snare, right? Similar, but totally different, opposites. And the one who is chasing you down is different. So it's either the enemy or God himself. So I want to be chased by my Lord, right? I want to be chased by God and dwell in the fortress, right? In him for safety, and he's the Most High, instead of being chased by the enemy as a weak prey, where his only intention is to steal and kill and destroy me. So he's the lover of my soul, right? Not the enemy. He's not the lover of my soul, right? He wants to kill me. He wants to destroy me. So castle, defense, fortress, stronghold, those are all definitions, so sorry guys, of the Hebrew word for fortress. Shh, girlfriend. Now, my God. Hi, Melanie. How are you doing? I don't know if I said hi to you, but I just want to say, hey, I see you are watching as well. So my God, again, He's mine. It's possessive. He wants me. I want him. We have a personal relationship. Okay, and so one of the things that I think about when I think personal relationship is I can come freely to him. I can come boldly to him. I don't have to be shy about it. I can just walk boldly to him, and I can talk to him, right? I can communicate with him because I have a personal, intimate relationship with him. I don't need somebody to be my go-between, right? I can come directly to him. And so Hebrews 4:16, and this is the King James Version, it says, "Let us therefore come boldly unto the throne of grace, that we may obtain mercy and find grace to help in our time of need." And so when we come unto him, I made a note to myself and say, I'm hidden in him, because I'm coming unto him and I am allowing myself to dwell in his presence and in the Most High. So he is my refuge and my fortress, right? He's my dwelling place. So that is a powerful promise that we can come boldly to him. We are hidden in him, and that is relationship. Relationship. I think the last time about the example of my neighbor. When I first moved into this house, someone told me about my neighbor. They told me my neighbor's name. They told me a little bit about her, but I didn't really know her. I knew about her. I didn't have her phone number, but now I have a relationship with her, a personal relationship with her. And so I not only know her name and some things about her, but I've actually had conversations with her, a lot of them, and a lot of them are in-depth conversations. I can text her on her phone anytime. She can text me. I can call her. I can walk to her house. She lets me in the house. She can come to my house. So there's a difference between knowing about somebody and having an intimate relationship with them, right? So now Song of Solomon 6:3 is one of my favorites. It says, "I am my beloved's, and my beloved is mine," right? It goes on to say in the Passion Translation that I have him fully, and now he fully has me, right? So that is our relationship with the Lord, right? It's intimacy. And so now let me go back to Psalm 91:2 again, and let's read through this. "I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress." Okay, and then the last part of it says, "My God, in him will I trust." Okay, so we're at the part where it says, "In him will I." Okay, so here is I again. That's me, right? I have a part to play here. "In him will I trust." So I have to do the trusting, which we'll get to, but I have a part to play. I have to trust him. It's not based on my works. It's not based on how many good things I can do, right? It's not based on how much service I can serve, that makes sense, right? Service I can serve. It doesn't matter how many mission trips I go on. It doesn't matter, how many good things or how many good deeds I do. It's not based on that. It's based on, do I trust him? Do I have my faith in him, right? So in him will I, right? Will I. So let's look at the word will I. Let's switch it around and say I will, right? When I thought of this, it sounds just like something that we are hearing a lot in this season. It's wedding season, right? So You know, what do people say at a wedding? They say, I do. They say, I will, right? It's your covenant vows. These are vows of covenant. So God has already done everything he can do because of his love for us. He sent Jesus, right? And it's a finished work. Even on the cross, Jesus' last words said, it is finished. He's defeated the enemy by his sacrifice because of his love for us. And we just have to take him alone. Just Jesus. You know, I hear this and it's good. But it's not Jesus plus something else, right? It's Jesus, right? Jesus alone. In faith in Jesus alone, you know, and, you know, it's because of that. He has his grace, again, not through works, but grace, and we have faith in him. And we complete our vows, and we say, I do. So if you think of those as wedding vows, my God, in him will I, or I will trust. So these are covenant vows. I'm trusting in him. Okay? And trust. So let's look at trust here. And we're actually almost to the end of this verse, so I think we'll finish verse 2 in this session. But the Hebrew word for trust is batak. And that means to trust, obviously. That's how we translated it. It's bold, careless, meaning I don't care, or I'm not carrying a burden. Confident, to fall down, to throw one down upon his face, to lie extended on the ground, to feel secure, to have confidence, to put my trust, to rely, to secure. So trusting God means that you are so confident, you're so bold in your trust, in your confidence in him. You have no burden, right? Because you've rolled it over on the one who is meant to carry the burden, which is Jesus, right? And his finished work. He's already done that for you. He's already paid that price for you. You don't have to carry that and pay it again. So you throw yourself down on the ground, prostrate before him on your face. This is the ultimate vulnerable position, right? When you're laying prostrate on the ground, it's vulnerable, right? You're in a weak and vulnerable position. And it leaves you with no way to defend yourself, right? When you're laying prostrate on the ground before him, upon your face. But you are so confident in him, the one you are laying before. You know he will defend you. And that's intimacy, right? To make yourself vulnerable before someone else. Having full trust and confidence in them that they're not going to harm you. That is relationship. And so when we say, I will to him, I will trust in you, we are, we are tying our covenant vows with him, knowing that he can never break his covenant vows with us. Never. It's impossible for him to lie. So if he speaks it, if he promises it, he can never go back on his word. He's not a man that he should lie. It's impossible for him to lie. So when we lay prostrate before him, so confident and so secure, but yet so vulnerable before him, where we can't defend ourselves. He has to be our defender. That is putting our trust in him. What an image, what a picture, like what a mental picture of trust. And we place all our trust in him because we have nothing left. We're completely vulnerable in that position. What a beautiful picture, what a beautiful image to just say, I lay it all before you. We hear that so often, I lay it all before you. I just want to say, I lay my whole being before you. I lay all of me before you, Lord. I'm so vulnerable before you. There is nothing I can do without you. You alone are my strength and my shield. You alone are my refuge and my fortress. And you alone are the one that I'm laying before, trusting so confidently in you, coming so boldly to the throne of grace. That's intimacy. That is relationship. That is the ultimate picture of intimacy and relationship. So when we look back, let's kind of pull this all together. Psalm 91:2, let's look at it one time all together. And so as I read through this, I think it would be good to think through the components that we've gone through in these 2 sessions and just how powerful. There's 20 words here. And they're very powerful. And so think through them as I read through. It says, I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. So, I don't know if there's any more words that can be used to talk about just how wonderful this verse is and what it means, and just how good God is and how wonderful He is. So as you go into the rest of Friday today and your weekend and next week, and I would encourage you to find some time, even if you're busy. We're all busy, even if it's not quiet time, just as you're driving, as you're going about your daily activities, to picture yourself trusting in Him. Just the last image that we had there, laying prostrate before Him, so vulnerable before the Lord, knowing that He cannot break His covenant vows to you, but you are saying, I will trust in you, completing your covenant vows with Him, and give it to Him. Let Him carry the burden that you are not meant to carry. And so I think I'm going to leave us there, but I know, as the name of this teaching series is, surely He shall deliver you. I know He will. He will. He has to. He has promised to do that. And so trust in Him. Spend time with Him in your relationship with Him. And I know that you will see your life change. So I hope this was a blessing to you. I hope it was an encouragement to you. I really enjoy preparing for these to share with you. And of course, it really blesses me as well. I'm so encouraged by it. And so we are going to post this teaching to our YouTube channel a little bit, later this afternoon. And so just want to encourage you to go back and rewatch or share with somebody that you think could really use this word of encouragement. And reach out to us if you have any prayer requests, if you have any questions, if you have anything, just reach out to us, stay in touch. And if you want to be on our email list, I know yesterday Faith sent out and letting everybody know this was going to be at 10:30 today, and we also have started putting events on Facebook, so you'll also be alerted that way as well. And if you want a cute dog, let me know, because she's gonna be here until we find somebody for her. I'm trying to be a little foster mom for her. So all right, well, I wish you all the best afternoon, the best weekend, and until next time, I send you love and blessings. Bye-bye.